Okay, so in the last video, we learned a little bit how to add React to a website. That was very exciting, wasn't it? We added these script tags, we added a button container, and we rendered a like button into the document, and we were able to press it and see how you can update the DOM directly without refreshing the page or anything. That's cool, isn't it? But this one, if you thought that was a lot to take in, I'm afraid this one's going to bake your noodle a little bit, because we're going to go into the world of web apps. Okay, so before, okay, this is not a fixed term, right? This is just how I'm using it to describe the different stages we're at. Before, we've been using a document, a HTML document, to render things. Okay, we've been doing CSS transitions, and now we've rendered JavaScript in them. But now what we're going to do is we're going to create something which is quite different, but has the same fundamental technologies. What it's going to do is it's going to create us an application that's built with React, and we're not even going to see the HTML. Let's go. So I've actually got my my terminal here, and I've opened it in my site, and as you'll see, I've got my index.html in there. But now I'm actually going to come out of that and delete. This is remove. RM stands for remove, and RS is F. It means it's recursive, so everything inside it. I can't remember what the S stands for. So site. Basically, my site is going, and instead I'm going to do npx. Now we need Node installed for that. So if you don't have Node, you will need to go to node.js.org. Yes, and download Node for whatever application computer you're using. You might already have it. I did mention it before. So if you have got all that already, all you do is npx create React app site. Let's go. Yes. So right, okay. So you remember how we added those scripts to our page? Whilst this is running, let's just explain this a bit. So we added these scripts to our page, and if you go to that in this, it contains an awful lot of code, masses of it, masses and masses and masses, and you'll see in there it's all annotated, and it's got different helpers and things like that, and that actually adds to the length of time that it's taking to actually render this page. So rather than doing all of this, and because browsers also wanted to use a more recent version of JavaScript. Okay, what is a more recent? So web technology is always moving forward. You know this because every now and again you get a little update button in your browser, right? And it says update. So what that's doing is it's getting you allowing your browser to use the latest technology. JavaScript is one of those technologies, and JavaScript is always changing. There is an organization that says what JavaScript can include, and then JavaScript will get updated, and it will get to use different things. But what happened is, a few years ago, the browsers were really slow, and they didn't have these update buttons. So people wanted to use the new stuff that these people were coming up with, but in older browsers. How would they do that? Well, they used JavaScript to create that functionality. See, it's powerful, isn't it, this thing? So because they were able to use new versions of JavaScript, so those new versions of JavaScript still needed to be what's called transpiled, or they needed to be transformed to older versions of JavaScript to actually work, right? So there's this thing called Webpack, which then takes your code, you can write the new fancy stuff, and it will transpile it for you. It will transform it into something that all browsers can use. So that's what's going on here. We're using Webpack to package our scripts up. So what it does, it will get React and React DOM and other scripts, as it says there, React scripts, and it will create a whole application with all the things because it's a real pain to start getting started with everything like this installed ready, because there's a lot of configuration used. Oh, we're not actually using Webpack, we're using Rollup. Did you see that? Right. Git repository. That's the next video after this one. Okay, just wait. All right, so now I'm going to open my new site in my browser. Where did it go? Where are you? Right, it didn't work for some reason. I don't know why. Go away. Right. Right, that didn't work. Okay, that goes there. Right, there we go. Okay, folder tree. Aha. Now this is very different. Where's the HTML file? It's not there. It's not even in here. Because Create React App already has its own HTML file and it doesn't want you to edit it. So it'll be in the Node modules folder here. So this is a modern web application, okay? So this is all the things that you'll need. So most things live in the source folder. That is the code that you'll be playing with, okay? Then it will include a package.json. A package.json tells it what packages you're using. For example, look, that's familiar, isn't it? That's using React. It's using React DOM. It's using React scripts. Okay, and it also allows us to start the application and build it and test it and other things. Okay, so there's lots of different cool things in the in this package.json. So if I do, like, for example, what did I do it with? npm start, as it said here. This is the scripts block, so this is everything you can do with it. So npm start is there, and it will start our application. Oh, it's done it somewhere else. So it's actually opened it in the wrong browser. It's not the one I'm using for this. Okay, there we go. We have a React application, people. All right, so now that will allow us to do this kind of thing. So if we go in here and we go into our app.js, so this is what we can see on the screen there. So let's just get rid of the folder tree for a second and the terminal for a second. I'm just going to leave that running as it is. And now I'm just going to pull that over here so we can see what's going on. Right, okay, so I'm getting rid of this. And now when I save the file, look what happens. It has edited it already. If I delete that, save it, it's gone. How cool is that? All right, so this is because this is configured as a web application. It's got what's called hot module reloading. Let me explain that. So a module is this. So because now you can have different pieces of code in different places. All right, you can have, like, if I create a new file here, this is my component.js, right? RAFCE. There's a little thing that you can do this, but that's my component. This is basically the class function kind of thing that you do. That you can also write this like a normal function, like that. Okay, doesn't matter. It's just a slightly different syntax. All right. And that then you can import. Where's my app.js? And you can import. See, this is the new fancy stuff. You can't do this in normal JavaScript, right? Import my component from my. Oh look, it's complete. All right, and then we can put that there. That's my component, and it's coming from here. So if I do hello people there, it will update it automatically. Right. So this is this component here is also known as a module. Don't get too caught up on the terminology. So hot module reloading is the fact that it's hot. It will keep updating it as much as I save it, and it will automatically reload the DOM with my changes. So I don't keep needing to press save. I need to keep pressing save, but I don't need to keep hitting this button all the time because it will do this for us automatically. So this is a React application, and as you see there, you've got some other cool things here. So you've got a logo there, and it's an SVG file, not a JavaScript file. So the compiler that I said, talked about before, it doesn't just work with JavaScript anymore. It works with everything So here's a logo which is an SVG file, which is it's a kind of image. So you can do and you can even put whatever you want there. You can load your own SVG. You can change that SVG if you want. You can even open the SVG and edit it manually. So if you wanted this to be red, save that, and it's gone red. Okay, you can do anything. You can do anything you want with. I love SVGs; they're really cool. I didn't really touch on them, but they're awesome. And then you can also write CSS. Okay, body blue. No, I've done it again, haven't I? And that will not actually update because, why not? Because where are these other styles? No. Because they're an app. So this is the, so this is the index CSS. This is the app CSS. So CSS files are now also modular. So you don't have one CSS file, but you can have one for each component. So here, so say I wanted to do like some styles from my component. My component styles CSS, and then you have there we are. Red. Okay, I'm just going to put something for example. So now I'm loading these styles in my. Let me just make sure that this syntax is correct. So app.js. Yes, just import and then that. I don't need to tell it to import as. Oh, can't find that one. Okay. I've got a syntax error. See how quick that was? It was great, isn't it? It makes you move a lot faster. Right, name this the wrong thing, so I can change one or the other. It should update. Still can't find this module. Okay, why not? It's in there, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Not the correct path. I wasn't telling it to look in the current directory. Right, okay, there we are. So now my component, and now that's not working, is it? Why not? Because I haven't actually used this selector. Right, so let's go to my component. Div. What was it? Was it class or was it an ID? It was a class. The thing is, you get loads of files, so you get loads of things running across the top and stuff open at the same time. So class. Now, this is a tricky thing. React is a bit of a pain. Like as I said before, it's not perfect. There are things that are wrong with it. One of them is this: you just write class here. You have to write class name, otherwise it doesn't know what's going on. Bit of a pain, but there you go. So something. Right, my text has suddenly gone red. Did you notice that? That's because my CSS module has now been imported into my JavaScript module, and my JavaScript module has been imported into my application, which is loaded into this page. And if you inspect this, you'll see things changing as you edit them, and that is really quite cool. So if I was to that I've shown you before, I think I don't need to worry about that. But isn't this cool? So this is basically the way that a lot of companies build things, is with something like Create React App. There's other things like Gatsby and Next. You might have a look at one of those later. But it allows us to write things in a modular way. And as you can see, things are getting quite crowded in here. So people usually do things like this. So you got components, and then you put your component in there. Whoop, move. Then of course you have to update your paths, don't you? Because you can't find this now. So here, yes, now it's actually, Visual Code's been very helpful. It's updated the path. So now in components, it knows that. So when you save it, it'll find it again. So now you've got some kind of folder organization structure going on here. Okay. Now, you might be wondering how you get different pages and stuff. Well, I'm not going to tell you. That's too much for this video. We've already covered a huge amount of stuff, I'm sure you'd agree. And if your head is spinning, don't worry, it's normal. If it's not spinning, then I commend you, because mine still is. And I've been doing this for years and years. But it's a great thing to be able to work with this kind of thing, because this is exactly what people are looking for in the working world, is people who can make applications in a modular way using some kind of DOM diffing code like React and friends. Okay, there we are. I hope that's been instructive and useful. I'll see you in the next one, which is talking about Git. That's not an insult. I'm not calling you a different silly name. It's actually something useful.